What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much on this very busy, great looking Saturday at college football games for clicking on the video, supporting the channel, and watching today's Madden 22 franchise rebuild with the New York Giants. This may be the final rebuild before we start getting into the realistic rebuilds, which I'm very excited. I still got to finish the 2023 draft class, but I'm an Eagles fan. I never am over the moon. I won't say not excited, but I'm never really over the moon when it's time to rebuild other teams in the NFC East. But there's just a point in time when you're looking at what teams need to rebuild. What are the most interesting teams that need a lot of work? And the Giants might very well be at that top of the list of teams that just like, all right, we got to put in some work here. There's some fun players. You know, just because I dislike the Giants doesn't mean I dislike players on the Giants. I'm a Saquon Barkley guy. I thought Leonard Williams was amazing last year. Kenny Golladay was an absolute beast in Detroit. Peppers. We have Slayton, who was really good for us in our biggest series in Madden 21. So there's definitely some fun players here. But before we meet this roster, I do need to do a quick thank you to a beautiful company for sponsoring today's video. This Sunday night, Tom Brady returns to New England for the biggest game of the year, and the stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're backing the Bucs or Pats this Sunday, the game is always more exciting when you've got money on it at MyBookie. Get in on the action and take this game to a whole new level at MyBookie. Both teams are sporting top defenses. Nobody knows each other better than Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Slow and steady will win this race, and smart money might just bet the under in this matchup. So don't wait around. Join MyBookie now and bet on the biggest game of the season. Use my promo code C4 and double your first deposit. Again, that's promo code C4 to double your first deposit with MyBookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So this Giants rebuild, I think the biggest question, regardless of any other position, is the quarterback spot. We have Danny Dimes here, 71 normal dev, and I'm gonna try to view this. This is the last time I'm leaving the Eagles hat on to support my guys throughout this video, but we're now gonna be fair weather Giant fans, just so that we can get a successful rebuild in the books. So my unbiased opinion of all these players. So I look at Daniel Jones, I see a guy that has an NFL caliber arm. From an athletic standpoint, he just keeps making plays with his legs. It's just between the ears. I don't know if we'll ever put it. Some quarterbacks are just like that. Some quarterbacks, and usually guys like that just can't do the mental aspect, the accuracy, the consistency aspect. They're like those guys that become the next Mariotas, the Daniel Jones. Most likely in real life, I had to put money on it. He's gonna become the next guy that's gonna go somewhere else, be an interesting backup that fan base will be like, oh well, maybe Daniel Jones can turn it around here in a new environment or something like that. I don't know, but for this rebuild, it's gonna be very important to get him off that normal dev trade. I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot of commitment to Daniel Jones, but the quarterbacks aren't there. There's no quarterbacks in free agency, and we don't get Aaron Rodgers in free agency or in the draft kind of week. Maybe we just hope and Daniel Jones can hit that dev trade within year 1 and year 2. I think that's going to be the jump off point, is by the end of year 2. That will be at longest how long we'll give Daniel Jones to prove to us that he can be the quarterback in this rebuild that leads us to a Super Bowl. I have my doubts. The running back group, we have Saquon Barkley, big Saquon Barkley fan, probably the most dominant running back I've seen in college football, and that includes Adrian Peterson. I think Saquon Barkley at Penn State, I think that was the most dominant running back I've seen in college football. Obviously, there's a lot. Like they said, you could throw Adrian Peterson in there. Melvin Gordon was just insane. But I just think from how good they were statistically, the team they had around him, and how good they were athletically, he's amazing. And as much as as long as he's not doing good against the Eagles, some of his best highlights have come against Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a Saquon Barkley fan, even though I do everything to avoid him in fantasy because he just can't stay healthy. Unfortunately, I made a tweet, and this is something that I want to genuinely discuss with the Giant fans that decided to click on this video. It's so many people talk about getting young quarterbacks, and young quarterbacks going to bad teams just crushes their confidence, and they could be a good quarterback, but because of the situation they went into, they regressed and they never really had a chance. They never really had a fighting chance. Kind of feel like that could be the case for Saquon Barkley. The O-line has been so bad since Saquon Barkley has been there with the Giants. It looks like his vision, I know he's coming off an injury this year, but I've watched 2 Giants games, and it just looks from a vision, from an anticipation standpoint, just general confidence. He doesn't have confidence that these guys are going to hit their blocks and he can do his job. I'm a little bit worried that the Giants are so bad on the offensive line that it's going to have a negative impact on Saquon Barkley. And I don't want to be well, see, they should trade him away or anything like that. But comes a point in time where like we know how good he can be if he can stay healthy, but I'm worried that we're not going to get the best Saquon Barkley we could have got because he's ended up on the Giants. If he's on any other team that actually can properly evaluate offensive linemen, like would we have a clear running back one? Would this guy be in that, you know, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb territory of like, man, he might be the best running back in football? I don't know if he's ever going to be able to hit that in the Giants in real life, but in this rebuild, we're going to try our best to make Saquon Barkley RB1 in the league. They spent big money in free agency bringing Kenny Golladay, 84 with the superstar. He's a beast. Another guy, fortunately, kind of struggled with injuries, but I think from a Madden standpoint, he's absolutely going to be our wide receiver one. You have Sterling Shepard, who is actually, you know, solid. That's probably like the easiest way and the best way to describe his career. Not necessarily a guy that can be a wide receiver one, but he can be a really good wide receiver two that can play like a wide receiver one, which is nice. We have Darius Slayton, who does have some drop issues. But other than that, from a Madden standpoint, 79 with a star dev, only 24. I think long term with these three, plus you have Kadarius Toney with, I believe he has a hidden dev trait, 72 hidden dev out of Florida, the rookie. We're probably going to be pretty good. I think we're going to be solid at wide receiver. It's, you know, quarterback and offensive line are really going to be the areas we need to address here sooner than later with the New York Giants. Because at tight end, you even have a guy in real life, okay, maybe he's not, you know, an 83 star if you're trying to equate what he does in real life. But he's, again, a guy that on his day is very much a viable tight end one in the NFL. And from a Madden standpoint, 83 star dev, only 26 for a 5-year rebuild. He has great athleticism, very fun player to use. I have no issues with that spot as well. So really all the skill position spots are shored up for the Giants. It's just Daniel Jones, and we take a look at this offensive line. Andrew Thomas, who looks like a whiff. I don't know if it's just I think Joe Judge is one of the worst coaches in the NFL. So I don't know if this is just another case with Andrew Thomas of like a good player just with bad coaches around him. But he hasn't been playing particularly well. I thought he was a can't miss pick. 71 star from a Madden standpoint, should be fine. Should be able to be our left tackle for most of this rebuild. I have no real issues there. Left guard, needs some work. You get Lemieux from Oregon. He's young, but there's no dev trait, and there's no way to gain dev traits for offensive linemen here in Madden 22, so that's not great. We have Nick Gates, who had just a horrific injury. Who knows if he's going to ever play again, but yeah, just more guys at center, not really great. You have Hernandez here, 73. Yeah, used to have a star dev in the last couple of Maddens. Now he's sitting on a normal. You know, that's a maybe. We might have something there, maybe not. It could very, and then you have one of the worst contracts in football is Nate Solder. So really, it's probably just safe to assume that Andrew Thomas is the only guy on this offensive line that we can really count on for this rebuild. So that means left guard, center, guard, right tackle, all need to be drafted, or we got to find guys in free agency. And free agency is very tough to improve the offensive line. Really, in the first 3 years, year 4, year 5, there's some gems there. But early on, we're going to have to probably invest a lot of our draft picks on the O-line. Look at the defense. Defense is really strong. I mean, I don't think there's any bad defenses really in the NFC. So you have Dex Lawrence at defensive end here. Could debatably even move in a nose tackle. 6'4", 340 pounds, 81 with a star dev. He's really nice. You got Leonard Williams, who I thought was actually outstanding last season for the Giants. 84 with the star dev. 27. A little bit worried about when that regression may kick in. But I, again, plan to have him for the full 5 years. Then you got Danny Shelton there at defensive tackle. Serviceable. Just gigantic, man. This is just a huge defensive line. But, you know, probably need one guy, draft one guy. And luckily, D-tackles grow on trees in the Madden-generated draft classes. So that should be fairly easy. We got Lorenzo Carter, left outside linebacker, 74, normal. Solid, but definitely can be upgraded upon. Middle linebacker, you got Blake Martinez, who I actually think just ended his season, tore an ACL or something like that. Which kind of sucks, because he definitely looked better with New York last year than he did the last couple of years with the Green Bay Packers. But outside of that, again, another situation where it's like, all right, he's 27, no normal dev, but should be a guy that gets a dev trait scenario because he'd be so productive. Well, we might need 2 new middle linebackers for this rebuild long term. Right outside linebacker, they got Azeez Ojulari, the rookie from Georgia, 72 hidden dev. Hopefully he has a whole lot of upside for us because we need at least someone on this, this linebacking core that's for sure going to be here for the full 5 years. And if I had to put money, I would guess it would be Ojulari. Secondary, James Bradbury coming over from the Panthers, free agent, outstanding. One of the more underrated corners in the NFL, 90 superstar. We're going to try to have him for the full 5 years. They got a Dory Jackson, who's interesting guy, kind of in the mold of like the Kenny Golladay signing. It's like, okay, interesting player, can be a great player, but struggles with injuries at times. Luckily, injuries aren't an issue for us in these rebuilds. So 82 star at 25 should be a long-term piece here in the secondary. After that, you got just some interesting players. Darnay Holmes, I like that pick at a UCLA. You got Josh Jackson. Might need a corner, but the fact that we have 2 of 3 corners is pretty good. The safeties look solid. You have Logan Ryan here, 84. I'm actually thinking I'm going to try to move on from him because we have Xavier McKinney out of Alabama, 74 with the star dev. Think like it's just a better decision right now to go McKinney, get him those reps year 1, year 2, where you might have Logan Ryan because he has the higher overall. You know, we're a rebuild. So the older players that might have some trade value, let's see if we can move on from them and give the younger guys an opportunity to, you know, try to reach their, you know, a higher ceiling. We have Jabril Peppers here, 81 with that star dev. He's a guy that we could probably move him all around. If we don't want to keep him at strong safety, we could probably move him to a linebacker spot. But, you know, does Love have a depth trade? He's normal. 75 normal. Another guy that probably could go on the trade block. We could find a team that's absolutely hurting at safety, or we can even kick Julian Love back into slot corner. But I think between Love and Logan Ryan, might be able to find a trade partner, improve the offensive line. I'm thinking that's something that we should try to explore before we get into year 1. All right, so the Broncos had an interest. They have 2 real depth guys buried. They have Nitain Muti at guard, who we've already traded from before. So they also got Quinn Meinerz, who does have a dev trait, the rookie, 66. So they were very much interested in Love, 75. You know, still some upside there. You know, I think when you look from the Denver Broncos standpoint, it's you know, if we can eliminate the rookie aspect of Meinerz, depth guard on the Broncos, upside for us because he has a hidden dev trait, so we can just throw him in there right away to start. But if you're the Denver Broncos, really no one behind Kareem Jackson, who's very old at this point. So Julian Love kind of sets them up for the future. So they just a better set them up for the future in the back end of the defense than on the offensive line. So I'm happy with that deal, and Meinerz is going to play for us right away. We're able to find a second trade partner here for the Falcons. Actually needed a safety, so that was kind of worked out well. We're going to extend Logan Ryan and our 4th round pick to bring in, I think he's 26 or 27, Olukun, 79, star dev, middle linebacker that can come in, hopefully form maybe a long-term partnership with Blake Martinez as our middle linebackers 1 and 2. All right, so we're at the midway point of year number 1, and as about expected, the Giants aren't particularly good. 2-7, not where we want to be, but right now it's all about getting our young players on the field, getting them developed, so they can be more use for us at a later date. So now it's a little bit more clear why the Falcons maybe been open-minded to trading Olukun. It's because they probably had no, you know, real plan to re-sign him with that contract. So we're absolutely going to throw him the bag. Same with Evan Ingram. Yeah, we'll keep him till he's 30. It's not too bad. We actually don't have phenomenal salary cap spot. Already under 10 million bucks, and we still have some dudes that we need to pay. The rest of these guys, I mean, Willard is probably the only one I'm kind of thinking, but just for an O-line standpoint, he's only 25, 74. Like, what's his ceiling? I guess that's my point. Like, what is this dude's ceiling? Probably, and he could almost probably be an 80, and like an 80 starting normal depth guard's not too bad. So that's where we're going to spend our money, but unfortunately, that's not a lot to be big spenders in free agency. But I guess that's kind of what happens when you're the Giants, who has spent big in free agency like the last season, right before we did this rebuild. At the end of year 1, pretty much finished out the way, at least the standings did, that they looked. The last time we did talk, we are bottom dwellers in the NFCs, 5-12. It's, I think most Giant fans at this point in the season, 5-12 is not too bad. And you kind of still up with like you got like that top 3, top 5-ish pick. Looking around the league, doesn't look like anything too insane from the passing. Nick Chubb, 2,300 yards, 27 touchdowns is quite absurd. Sacks are up a little bit. Jayon Brown, the linebacker, leading the league in interceptions. Take a look at our Giants. I feel like Saquon Barkley did really well. Daniel Jones, 3,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 13 picks. He's not that guy, pal. But Saquon Barkley, yeah, 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns. Almost a member of the 99 Club, legitly. Right now, he's a 96 overall. I mean, he's amazing. It is what it is. Kenny Golladay, 58 catches, almost 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. You know, there's just no real consistent threat. But I think Saquon, amazing. Very happy for Saquon to have the year that he did have. Defensively, Lorenzo Carter, 116 tackles, 10 TFLs, sack and a half. So, you know, we didn't offer him a contract extension, and probably with this production, he's going to go up a dev trait, which will be a little bit annoying. But maybe look at re-signing him. I don't even know if we'll have that much money. But the rookie, Azeez Ojulari, actually led the team here. 73 tackles, 16 TFLs, 5.5 sacks. We got 9 for Dex Lawrence, 8.5 for Leonard Williams. All acceptable numbers. 3 picks for Jackson and Bradbury, 2 for McKinney and Darnay Holmes. So we got production on the defensive side of the ball. It's really just our passing game that was really disappointing. MVP went to Nick Chubb. Saquon coming in number 7 overall for the MVP. So it's good knowing that he's fired on all cylinders here. Because I do think he could potentially carry us. Because running backs are very powerful in Madden 22. For the rest of the awards, best running back. Well, obviously he was off the mark there. Because you're going against the great Dallas Cowboys, or at least Madden seems to think so every single sim. So, and then, just crash and burn year one. What were you expecting? You're really thinking that the Giants are going to contend year one with Danny Dimes? I don't think so. So the question is, this offseason, is it going to be a quarterback worth getting in free agency? Is it going to be a quarterback worth drafting? Or are we going to be stuck with Danny Dimes for another season? Let's find out. So in this season, the Ravens and the Cowboys played in the Super Bowl, with the Baltimore Ravens winning 24-20. Lamar Jackson is the Super Bowl MVP. At this point, as we kind of clear out our lockers, we do want to see if any of our players went up a dev trade. So on the offensive side of the ball, we had, well, Kadarius Toney's had a hidden dev trait. It came out as a star. Quinn Minard, who we traded for, had a hidden dev trait. It came out as a star. But other than that, no upgrades. On the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be Lorenzo Carr. Oh, he actually didn't go up. We're not going to be pressed into re-signing him. Ojulari here had a hidden dev. It's a star. I don't think anybody went up a dev trait, unfortunately, on our squad. Guess that's what happens when you just kind of suck. Not only can we not sign a quarterback, we are $16 million over the salary cap. So, who's going here? Absolutely, it's not going to be Saquon Barkley. Oh, man, I feel like we're actually going to have to make a tough decision here, potentially. All right, well, we'll get rid of Booker. There's $1 million. Every little bit counts, right? Devontae Booker is gone. A couple other little guys we can move to try to get out of the salary cap here. Like depth players. Rudolph gone. There's, $4.5 million. That is a nice little chunk that we are gaining back. Whoa. He is our starting center, but we can absolutely draft a center. There's $2 million. Goodbye, Nick Gates. Hopefully he can come back and play again. That was a brutal injury that he had. Oh, Nate Solder. There's $10 million. Trimming the fat here on the New York Giants. Probably one of the worst contracts in the NFL. Has been now rectified off our squad. What I actually think I am going to do, just for a team building standpoint, at almost 350 pounds, I'm going to move Dex Lawrence into nose tackle, at least just from a depth chart standpoint. So, it's going to be a lot easier to draft a guy that's more suited to be a 3-4 D end than a almost 350-pound guy that can kind of anchor the D-line there. So I think we're probably under the salary cap right around now-ish, but while we're here, let's keep trimming the fat here. We got Sam Beal. Wasn't he a supplemental draft pick a couple years ago? Get rid of him, frees up some funds. All right, pretty much everyone that needs to be gone. Can we get rid of this punter? What is this? $3 million on a punter. That's a master. I mean, he has a face scan in Madden, so I guess Dave Gelbin knew what's up. But there we go. We are now, I'd say we might even have $11 million. We got $11 million to potentially spend on some free. Let's just keep it here. I'm not going to do any edits, any cuts. We're going to be very frugal spenders if we spend it all. So at quarterback, yeah, we can probably sign Colin Kaepernick and go on a Super Bowl run. But at this point in time, I'd rather not. I mean, there are some nice wide receivers. Too bad that's just a spot we can't afford. Connor Williams on the offensive line is actually not too ooh. See, my issue is I actually like James Daniels there. But we're gonna have Will Hernandez at one guard spot, Miners at another guard spot. I mean, we can kick one of them into center. Let's do it. James, it's rare that you actually find good offensive linemen that hit the open market. So I think this might be our big competitive offer here on James Daniels, the former Chicago Bear. 4-year, 35, puts us, oh my God. The Raiders really want him. I don't know if we can get a piston match here. I'll go up to 6.5 and 4. If we can't get him on this, then it's just too rich for our blood. It's kind of what happens when you just, try to solve all your problems. So, ooh, we did get the little bit of a lead here. Let's just keep it here. Let's keep it all in one take. Good karma. We got rid of the junk. Can we land our number only target? And we do! James Daniels coming to help out that offensive line. All right, so full disclosure as the draft is starting. There's one quarterback worth drafting. He's probably going to be gone before we... Oh, he's already gone. No. Where is he? Man, I swear to God there was a quarterback that had a first-round grade. Am I tripping balls? Did this draft grade change? Okay, we got to pause this. We got to make the best select. I thought for sure... What? I mean, we have a little extra curriculars here on deck. Unless there's something... Unless... I must have missed it. There's 100% a quarterback that had a first-round grade. He must have drafted for some reason, like right before we made that pick. All right. So, what do we need? Don't really need wide receivers, even though it's a great year to need wide receivers, and maybe we can revisit that. Look at that guy. Lamont Buckshank, mid-first rounder. First team all-name. We got this guy here, John Ford, great combine. If they're there in the second round, I can consider it, just because more so I'm thinking about from like a salary cap standpoint. You know, some of those expensive wide receivers might need to go. There's one lineman here, really worth drafting a little bit later at that tackle spot. We have Brett Cutler, late first round guard, might have a dev trade. Another second round tackle. Just, it's so hard to get offensive linemen, right? Defensively, so we are now in the business of looking for either a successor to Lorenzo Carter, so that's a speed rusher on the outside, or a guy that can actually play down as a 3-4 defensive end. We have an early first rounder here in Walker. We have Norman Street, mid-first rounder. Not a whole lot of value late. Bates is a late for now, not worried about it. Defensive line, we have Malone, early first rounder, 6'6", 319, so pretty much can play everywhere. We have a guy that didn't attend the combine, late first rounder, a little too risque right there. So much value at defensive tackle with mid-first rounders. It's all about the gamble of what's going to be around in that swing in the second round. Because I think Malone also makes a lot of sense for us. We have Isaac Campbell, mid-first rounder here. Scheme fit outside linebacker. A couple middle linebackers, not so concerned about that spot. I think we'll go... Let's see the stats here. 3-cone, 20-yard bench press. Those are the things you're looking for. He doesn't excel in any one of those. What about this other guy, Malone? We'll grab him. We're going to help out the defensive line here. 78 hidden depth, number 2 in true value. I feel like it might be that outside linebacker that could beat him for number 1. But there you go. Number 2 in true value. Getting him at 6. 95 strength. Good speed. Good acceleration. He's going to be a day 1 starter on that Giants defense, joining Leonard Williams and Dex Lawrence. So our drop point here for the second round. We do have tackles. We are in need of tackles, but we're not even getting guys that are early second round. So these guys are just solid players. Like if Power's still in the third round, sure. Still have some guys here. We don't really need a wide receiver. I got to actually draft a 6'5", 218. He's 6'5", 220, and he ran a 4.34. Now, in the last rebuild we did, we drafted just, you know, I'm doing it. We passed on a guy that was pretty much Megatron. This guy, to a certain degree, is the exact same. The last wide receiver, last prospect, he was an early first round talent. But if you're 6'5" and run a 4.3, I'm in, man. Come on. Had to. I can move him to tight end. It's not a great pick. Slow ass acceleration. Oh my god, that's actually kind of a shitty pick. I'm gonna be honest with you. So our draft class was, you know, anytime you get the number 2 player in the draft with a top 5 pick, well, anytime we get him anyways, but top 5 pick means you didn't miss. So and he's already confident coming here. Thought we were getting Megatron. Got a good guy. He's intriguing for sure, but absolutely was maybe not. I don't want to say ill-advised, but you know, it is what it is. Rest of the draft was solid. We got a couple 70s, 67 center, 72 fullback, brought in a new punter, but all normal devs. But hey, at least we got the number 2 player of the draft. Hopefully that dev trade's like a superstar or something. So here's our roster as we go into year 2, and I think we're trending in the right direction if you just ignore that guy right there in the middle of your screen. We're working on it. We're working on it, baby. A lot of depth at wide receiver, and you could argue that with the draft of Buckshank, it makes it a little bit more easier for us to get under the salary cap. I think probably Slayton's the guy that's next up to get a contract, and maybe we'll just save money there and have that wide receiver depth. Signing James Daniels in free agency definitely helps out the offensive line. Then we slide Minards into center, and obviously a little bit worried about the right tackle spot with Pert, but, you know, it's a work in progress. Not all going to happen in one offseason. Defensively, I don't know why we're not having Malone. There we go. That's what we want. We want Leonard Williams, Dex Lawrence, and the number 2 overall player in the draft, Cam Malone, playing there at defensive end. Yeah, I mean, no other new faces. Everyone else is kind of coming along. Bradbury, 90. Holmes is 76. Dory's 85, leading the team in interceptions last year. Peppers is solid. And I will say, Ojulari had 2 dev trade scenario triggers last year. Did not hit on any of them, but he seems like a player primed to be an X factor before this rebuild is all finished. So excited for the team taking the next step. Overall, what's my expectations? We had 5 wins last year. We still have Daniel Jones under center. So I'm going to say just try to get as close to 500 as possible. So midway point of year 2, we're 3-4, which is, you know, over half our wins we had last season, and we're only at the midway point. Competitive, you know, 2 games back of the Eagles right now. Our defense is playing very well, which makes me concerned that still Daniel Jones is not really clicking. But we're winning games, finding ways to win. That's fine, right? That's fine. Big contracts, though. Saquon Barkley, pretty much, shut up, take my money. You are our offense. Dex Lawrence, I think, should be the next priority, given the fact that he's still really good. It's only 24, so we'll get Dex Lawrence lined up. I think Bradbury, given the state of our secondary, we'll give him a 2-year deal, less than the cap it by about $1 million. As we said with Slayton, I just feel like we drafted that wide receiver. We're going to have to cut corners here a little bit. There's zero chance for re-signing Daniel Jones. I'll tell you that right now. So, and that's actually kind of expensive for Blake Martinez at this point in his career. So I think we're just going to chill. Those are the guys that are getting the early contracts. Everything else, we'll see what happens once the open market hits. So to close out year 2, we were kind of competitive, and then I fell off a little bit. 7-10, so 2 more wins than we had a year ago, and at least, we get to wash our hands of Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones era in New York is over, and I'm sure there's going to be at some point in this rebuild, he's going to go to the football team and become an MVP or something stupid like that. Loot around the league, nothing audacious. 2 audacious. Aaron Donald, 24 sacks. Everything else kind of looks in line. Look at it in the building. Daniel Jones stepped up a little bit. Not worth like the $45 million contract that he wanted, but 4,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 12 picks is not too bad. But, I do feel like we just need a solid quarterback. We don't need a great quarterback. Don't need an X factor with Saquon Barkley. The offense runs through this dude, but we need someone that can complement him just a little bit better. Good year from Saquon there. Evan Ingram had a huge season, 95 catches, almost 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. Galladay was solid, but we're not really getting a return on investment for that big contract that he's sitting on. Tony solid, Saquon, there you go. Look, Darius Slayton had no need to re-sign him. We would like to, from like, hey, look at all the shiny things I have on my team, but not really practical. 130 tackles for Olakun, 12 TFLs, 2 sacks, 2 picks, 10 sacks from Campbell alone, the rookie. His dev trait is a star, which sucks. Hey, but at least it's better than Madden 21, where everyone was a normal dev, right? At least star dev, you can work with that to get the little XP boost. Couple interceptions. Interceptions have been solid through 2 years of this rebuild. Yearly awards, MVP went to Christian McCaffrey. In the NFC, just seeing more so. Do we have any Giants? Cam Maloney is Defensive Rookie of the Year. Maybe he'll have a dev trade. Maybe. I wouldn't hold my breath on it, but there's a potential dev trade scenario coming for that star dev. But still another kind of shitty year. But hey, we get to find a quarterback this offseason. Are we going to sign Aaron Rodgers? Oh, we did! Campbell, I just upgraded the 1 point that he got. The Defensive Rookie of the Year goes up to Superstar Dev. That needs to happen more. I almost think, personally, automatic dev trade if you win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Should be automatic. Well, there's an absolute hit. Looking at the rest of our lineup, we clear out the lockers. Year 2 after a disappointing season. In terms of dev traits, nothing on offense. Okay, is what it is. Defensively, Malone is a superstar. That's phenomenal. And Peppers went up to a superstar. That's just more beast on our defense. I will take that. That's some wins for the Giants as we try to regroup, find a new quarterback, and gear up for year 3. That's brutal. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, those guys won't come here. We're doing a rebuild, right? They're not. And then Daniel Jones is, of course, the fucking best option. I do want to spend our money. No point. Just keep it. I'm gonna throw an offer here in on Brian Burns. Let's go. Let's give him. We'll give him 12 and 10. I think it's like 5-year, $110 million for a guy that should be able to pretty much instantly give us 12 sacks minimum a season. Nice. And we'll spend big money on Brian Burns, bringing him in. That is going to slick. That's going to be our team. We're going to be an old school, run the ball. We're going to play great defense. I have $14 million. I'm going to see if Tom Brady's still there. I'll sign him. Can I get any of these guys on a 1 year? 1 year, $35 million. Like, I was never going to have that money anyways. 1 year. Can I just give him this? I'll throw a bit in on Tom Brady. And if we get Tom Brady, it's probably not going to make the YouTube thumbnail. But I figure, why not? We'll throw him a bone. Half of what he wants. And it looks like he's telling us here to pound sand. And hopefully we can draft a quarterback. We're going to need to draft a quarterback in the draft. Or maybe there's like a Rosen or something there buried on free agency that we could see if there's a chance. I don't know, man. We're fucked at that spot. So I think the good news is the rest of this draft kind of stinks. So for at least where we need to get better at. So the fact that, that's a great name. We'll just say that. Quentin Vick at corner. But the fact that, honestly, you told me right now this is the best of the draft board. We have a first-round grade quarterback. It is a late first round, so my expectations aren't over the moon. But given the fact that it's not like there's an alternative selection here. This is like, grab this guy. I mean, grab one of these first-round graded centers, and that's the draft for us. So, get the hidden dev, Ricky Ford, 74 hidden dev out of Georgia, 28 in true value. Getting him at 10 is what it is. A reach for a quarterback. He's like Daniel Jones, kind of, but he has a dev trait. I think we can work with that. Ooh, second round, we got Quentin Vick, the corner out of Michigan State, 75 hidden dev, pretty much a BPA. Bradbury is getting up there in age a little bit, I guess. But hey, hell of a pick, man. Back to back. Now that third pick, grab one of those centers if they're still there. And then the rest of the draft is just icing on the cake. All right, final. I'm pretty much, guys, that's my draft board. I'll pretty much just sim it out here. This is our last pick. Clark Rhodes, one of the first round grade centers. No dev, but 75 overall normal. He's got to start probably on this team. So let the computer finish out the draft after our first 3 picks. See what they got. So they got a 70 middle. They pretty much follow your draft board. If you didn't know that, if you set your board, the big board, the guys are still there. They will try to select them. Oh, we got a 71 wideout. Stephen Gaines. A couple other 60s. Yeah, it's fine. But 75 dev trait, 74 dev trait quarterback. Let's go. And the belle of the ball, Brian Burns at free agency. So a brand new rookie quarterback as we start year 3 with the New York Giants. Changes, I think Rhodes is actually a 77 tackle. So if that's how we're going to handle this offensive line, I think that's probably the only switch we need to make. A 77, okay. So the O-line is the best it's been. Skill possession players, no one's really regressing inside of Galladay, which, that was just a bad contract to inherit when we started this rebuild. We got Ford, who, let's pray, if you're religious, that he has a superstar. We kind of need that. Saquon, one of the best players in all of Madden. Defensively, what we're going to do is we're going to take Brian Burns, and we're going to make him the left outside linebacker. Superstar. Absolute stud. I'm hoping he excels. I don't really know what our outside linebackers numbers have been. I haven't really paid attention. It seems like most of our sacks so far in this rebuild have come from the defensive line, but you bring in someone like Brian Burns here, you are going to expect a certain, like I said, 12 sacks. Kind of want that to be the minimum that he will hit, but the team is looking fantastic. I think we compete for the playoffs this year in year 3, but it's all about Ford. Does Ford want to be a baller, shot caller, driving that 04 Impala, or is he just going to be another Daniel Jones? We're here a little bit early. The bye week, I had to do it because we're first place in the NFC. So this quarterback, what does he look? I just want to see a quick sneak peek at the stats. Is he balling or is it just Saquon? Top 10 in touchdowns, not a lot of yards, 15 touchdowns, 2 picks, and you have Saquon averaging over 100 yards a game. I told you, that's the formula with this Giant squad. For me to build them into a Super Bowl champion again, it's going to be defense, it's going to be run the ball, and a quarterback that can just make plays and not turn the ball over. Only 2 interceptions for a rookie quarterback. Pretty damn good. Looking at our squad, we got a Dory Jackson here. Let's give him a contract. We'll give him 4 years, just under a $10 million cap hit, but he is getting picks. Feels like he got like 3 picks every year. Leonard Williams on the defensive line, a little expensive. I think we'll go McKinney. We'll give him a couple bucks here. $15 million over 4 years. I think it's going to be important to get Andrew Thomas. Just don't really want to be messing around with drafting offensive linemen at this stage in the rebuild. So we get him locked up. I think Holmes is value. But then we just got that Vic guy, right? We don't... that's not... is that $3 million really going to make a difference? Like year 4, year 5? I hope not. I can't see it. So I don't think we're going to re-sign Sterling Shepard. He's just not playing particularly well. So I will shuffle a couple bucks Leonard Williams away. I think he will hold on to that rating fairly well. And he takes an initial deal. It wasn't like we had to come back to the table and pay him more money. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And the ND3 made the playoffs. 10-7. We're tied with Dallas. Dallas must have won week 18. We lost a close one, 35-31 to the New England Patriots. But we're ahead of schedule. I will say that we are 1 season of this rebuild ahead of schedule. Look at the players here. Huge year from Nick Chubb. Saquon, 3rd in rushing. 22 touchdowns as well. But my, what? 28 touchdowns, 2,200 yards. Nick Chubb. Pretty disgusting. Let's take a look at our rookie quarterback, how he did. Rick Ford. We're going to just call him Ricky Ford. 4,100 yards, 31 touchdowns, 9 picks. Very good. Very, very good. 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns for Barkley. Nails with 11. Vultures. 8-3 Galladay. 8-8 Ingram. Almost 8-7 Shepard. 7-8. Saquon Barkley might be the MVP. I think when we go check that, he's got to be at least top 3. Dory Jackson led the team in tackles. We had 10.5 sacks. Brian Burns, 2 picks. You know, little less than what I was like I said, 12 sacks was about the number, but that's not too bad. Leonard Williams with 10, 8.5 for Cam Malone, 3 picks. Jabril Peppers, saw 2 picks there for Vic, the corner that we got in the second round. MVP went to Chubb. Saquon runner-up for the MVP. Yeah, this squad runs through Saquon Barkley. He's the offensive player of the year. Rick Ford is the quarterback of the year, so maybe another dev trade. That'd be cool. Saquon Barkley, running back of the year. Not much going for the Giants on the defense side of the ball. Even the defense, we might have the best defense in the NFC, if not the entirety of the NFL. But we made the playoffs, and now it's time to handle business. 2 great running backs, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. Playoffs, let's go. All right, let's do this. What do we got? We got Sam Darnold. While we're here, I'm going to address this for the real ones that are watching this video, still watching everything in this rebuild as we start this game. 7-zip. If the Panthers are undefeated by the time the scouting update comes out for Madden, I think I might have to pull an audible. I don't know, like, what's the, hey, I'm picking a team. Like, I originally wanted to do the Carolina Panthers because I thought they were an intriguing roster, but needed some work. Had that, like, there's a good rebuild in here as well as being an interesting team. They're undefeated. If I'm like, hey, welcome everybody to the Panthers rebuild, it's going to be hard, and like they're like 6-0 or something crazy like that by the time this update comes out in a couple weeks. I don't know yet. I might have to call it audible. But anyways, plan still right now is the Panthers because they can lose 4 in a row, and they're 2-4, something like that, 3-4, and we'll have a good time with them. But what is not a good time is their performance here today. It's the Giants with a rookie quarterback, more so Saquon Barkley, almost getting 200 rushing yards, 37-23, moving on in the playoffs. Very, very big first playoff win. Not only for Ford, for, the coach I was throwing shade at. Coach, I think that's probably one of the top 3 worst coaches in the NFL. Joe Judge gets his first playoff win. Green Bay Packers up next. We know they don't have Aaron Rodgers because he went to free agency. So that means this is the Jordan Love-led Green Bay Packers, which makes them a lot less intimidating, even though they got Jair Alexander and Devontae Adams, I'm pretty sure. But not a great start. Not a great start. A little bit of a hole to dig ourselves out of here. Kenny Clark and that. Oh, my God. Can we get something? Or are we just going to be a team that's like, we're happy to be here? We got our first playoff win. It was better than expected. Now in the second round, everything else is, we're just happy. We're passengers. Happy to be here. 34. Got garbage time touchdown. I mean, we beat them in the fourth quarter. You know, but look, they took away Saquon, and that's kind of what happens as we crash and burn here in year 3. End of year 3, Super Bowl was the Bucks and the Chargers. That would have been awesome. Vita Vea is the Super Bowl MVP as the Bucks win 29-28. It's that time. Everyone's gloomy. But does anyone have a little pep in their step because they got a dev trade? Let's see. On the offensive side of the ball, no peps, and Ford's dev trade is a star. We made the playoffs with him. He played well. Not going to be overly greedy. And unfortunately, oh, Vic is a superstar. Unless he went up. He did not. Quentin Vic. Superstar dev corner. We will take that. Let's shuffle you up the old depth chart there a little bit, bud. Let's go. That's a big get as we start year 4. For free agency, we have, just under $60 million. I'm looking at Claypool here. I don't know. I'm almost just like, let's save our money at this point. We got a kicker, star dev kicker. Other than that, free agency's not really falling the way we need it to. Like again, Dory Jackson. We got the superstar and Vic. Not overly worried about money going there. With like a middle linebacker, we got Kendricks. Is he gonna hold on? Like, actually, I don't hate that. Maybe this is where we spend a little bit of money on a veteran linebacker that could just be that gel, that glue, sticking the defense all together. Maybe we're missing that little bit of leadership on the defense. So we're going to see if we can poach Eric Kendricks away from the Minnesota Vikings, add a kicker, and still have more than enough funds to re-sign whoever we need for year 5, plus maybe make a big-time addition that can put this team over the top as we both get a kicker and Eric Kendricks. All right, not too much that I'm worried about here in the draft in terms of like we have to hit. We're very much in BPA. I got a couple first rounders. Would be nice if one of these second round, first round picks are going to be available at 25. I doubt it, but here's the guy we're going to select. Joe Hauser out of Oregon. Early first round, 7.5 combine grade. Ticks off pretty much every box that you want for a wide receiver. And he is, fuck me, come on. 76 normal dev traits. He looks really, I mean, that looks amazing, to be completely honest with you, but really need the dev trait there. Got another chance here. Again, we're strictly just, you know, best guys we can get. And I was hoping we could double dip on wide receiver. Get one of them have a dev trait. They're both very good. Number 12 with true value, 75 normal for Woodley here. Just can't buy a dev trait. So not a great draft. You know, just filled our board out here. Let the computer kind of finish it out. I mean, the players are amazing. Like, if we were doing like this as an actual series, I don't care dev trait or not. Hauser, insane. Gotta absolutely be an insane player. Same with Woodley. Just no dev trait from a rebuild standpoint. Like, are they gonna be X factors? Are they gonna be guys that can move the needle in the offense from a sim standpoint? I have my doubts. Year 4, and yeah, I mean, we have a little bit of a rotation here at center and tackle, but other than that, this squad is pretty damn good. We know he plays for sure better than that 81 star, so that just looks good. We need Kenny Galladay to step up. We got Tony. We kind of saved some money at that third wide receiver spot, so between Buckshank, probably actually go with Hauser just because he's such an S-tier athlete. But we're really 3 deep at depth at wide receiver. Maybe we look at year 5, things get a little weird, potentially trading one of those guys. But we're now at a spot where do we improve? Where can we can get a little bit better on the offensive line? But guys like that don't really grow on trees. Then you flip to the defense, front 3 outstanding, linebacking core, everyone's doing something. We signed Eric Kendricks to bring that veteran presence to the middle of the defense. Brian Burns outstanding. We got Peppers, who's a superstar. McKinney, who's good. Bradbury, Vic, Holmes, but Vic is truly special. 80 superstar out the gate. Didn't earn that dev trait. We found that. We cultivated this absolute beast, Quentin Vic, and I really do think like that's a can't miss defense right there. Year 4, I think we're making it back to the playoffs. So we're in the bye week. We are 6-3, 2 losses to Dallas this season. That's kind of what gives them the little edges over us in the NFC East, which is annoying because, you know, not a team you want to lose to. But this is year 4 contracts. These are the most important contracts. These are players that we need for our 5th and final season. I actually don't really know what our salary cap is looking like. It's fairly good, so we're going to be able to splurge on whoever. So we'll get Minards here, who's capable, very solid, plays all over the offensive line. I think Kadarius Toney. Maybe there's a little Gator bias in there, but because, I mean, production-wise, I don't really think he's had like a breakout season or anything like that. I think he's going to be a serviceable option. Worst case scenario, he's wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, which we can work with. We got Bradbury. I think, again, you let him hit the open market. He's most likely going to be the top corner available, so we'll keep him in the building. I think same goes for Kenny Galladay. 4-year deal, whatever. It doesn't really, no sweat off our back. We only have 1 year left of that big contract. Don't really have to worry about the regression too much outside of this offseason, which still shouldn't be too bad. I'd be shocked if he's below an 84, 85, somewhere in that range. So we'll re-sign Kadarius Toney. Other than that, we are going to be bringing a lot of money into that 5th and final free agency period. Well, we almost choked it as we, I don't know, limp into the playoffs. 9-8. I want to see this. How many did we lose? I think we lost 4 in a row. 4 or 5 in a row at the end of the season. Just out of the blue, like we were good. Things were looking good. Then we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. Eagles were bad this year. Football team was not very good this year. We might have went, I think, 1-5 in the division, which is not great. But we did find a way to make the playoffs. Looking around the league here real quick, in terms of just stupid stat lines. Marquez Callaway having a ridiculous year. I mean, he's a Saints wide receiver in the sim. That's what's going to happen. Rick Ford was solid. Again, he looks like that guy that we said we needed. At the beginning of this rebuild, we're talking about Daniel Jones. I was like, all right, we got Saquon Barkley, great defense. We just need a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. It looks like we had a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. He's yet to go double digits for turnovers. So that is, you know, what we needed. 1,900 yards, 18 touchdowns for Saquon Barkley. 9-8 for Kenny Galladay. No one else. I mean, Saquon's just disgusting what he's doing for this offense right now. The defense side, Eric Kendricks coming in, leading the team in tackles, 127 tackles there. 12.5 sacks, Brian Burns. 3 picks for Brian Burns. Do it all. A do-it-all outside linebacker. Remove edge from his name. He's just everything. Does everything. It's actually outstanding. Yearly awards, very quick look here. Mahomes is the MVP. Saquon Barkley coming in at number 4 in the NFC. Let's just see if we have any straight-up winners. And we do with Brian Burns winning Defensive Player of the Year. Let's go. Could be in line for a Superstar X Factor upgrade, which I think you should win that automatically if you're not already an X Factor and you win that. He's Linebacker of the Year as well. And we have opportunity here. to go on a little bit of Super Bowl run. So without further ado, let's kick the shit out of the 9-8 Packers and move on to the next round. It's Jordan Love. Are we scared? I don't think so. I think you should be scared of Brian Burns. You should be scared of Quentin Vick, Bradbury, Jabril Peppers, Kendricks. There's just too many guys to be scared. So we're trading field goals here, neither offense. Getting that explosive start that you really want to see, but looks like it's going to be a monkey see, monkey do type game. We get a field goal, they get a field goal. We get a touchdown, they get a touchdown. So that usually means, and it comes down to the team that can run the ball better. And I think I'm going to trust Saquon Barkley in that situation. So we get the turnover there. We're in the red zone. We get the touchdown. 4-point lead. Defense needs to stop, and we hold them to a field goal attempt. 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter to put this game away. And we actually did. And that's where you need Saquon Barkley to kind of kill the game off. Oh, come on. Make the field goal. We did! Oh, what? Game-winning field goal. Who's our kicker? I don't even know. It's not Graham Good. No. It's Bass. Tyler Bass. Let's go. 55-yard game winner. Sometimes you need that. You're going to need those on your way to win a Super Bowl. Now in the division round, we have the 11-6 San Francisco 49ers. So you know what the Niners are built. They're probably similar to us. Good defense, strong run game. Well, they got Trey Lance at quarterback right now, so it's not like they just have a quarterback that's $100 million and just hands the ball off. It's a little bit more dynamic. They get the instant touchdown there, but it looks very much kind of like the Packer game. Anything that they're doing, we seem to be doing our best to kind of equal it. So 21-14. Get the touchdown there. 21-21, all tied up. Get a quick touchdown there. Not really overly impressed by this Niners defense. We're not a high-scoring team, and we're looking like, could drop a 30 bomb here. Okay, we have to put it on the defense. We have 56 seconds to get into field goal range. Can Tyler Bass make it happen again? He makes the field goal. That is 2 wins. Bass has become like Justin Tucker, Adam Vinatieri, probably top 2, and that Tyler Bass at that 3rd spot. 4 touchdowns for Rick Ford, over 100 yards for Saquon Barkley, and the Giants in year 4 are going to the NFC Championship game. And we get the team with a 93 offense that beat us twice this season. We are 0-2 against the Dallas Cowboys. But now this is classic Dallas. They always choke. They're gonna choke. I assume they're probably the home team here because, better record. Which means they're gonna have some of. I might hop in though. If this game gets close, I have no idea if it will be or not. But if it does, I might have to put the nail in the coffin here in the Dallas Cowboys. We can't go 0-3 to Dallas. Even if I'm not the Eagles. If I was any NFC East team going 0-3 to the Cowboys in a video, it's almost borderline unacceptable. 14-14, everything to play for here in the second half. Dallas kicks the field goal. We are in the red zone. We get the touchdown, but no extra point made. Bass is it hoarded us a little bit, messed us up. It's not what we need. But now we're only down 7. Touchdown. 4th. Okay, we'll come in. We'll come in here. See what we got. First play offense. We'll go bench gun. 4th and 6. We got Galladay, Hauser. I'm gonna have Hauser run a slant because he has like 97 speed. We could just go Galladay. Or we literally ran for our life that whole play. No pocket existed, and Micah Parsons just ran our ass down. But we do have no chance at fucking winning. Fuck! Guess good news is at the end of year 4, the Dallas Cowboys didn't win the Super Bowl, losing to the Bills 27-11. That's like a scoregami there. Matt Milano winning the Super Bowl MVP. Let's see if we have any dev traits. I already saw, spoiler alert, Brian Burns did not go up dev trait for winning Defensive Player of the Year and Linebacker of the Year because I don't know why. Seems like that's a little bit flawed, and I don't think we had any dev traits. Not one was gained. Awesome. So for our final free agency push here, we had about $40 million. Really was hoping for a wide receiver, and unfortunately, it's just one of those deals where it's like, oh, we need a wide receiver. Oh, it's just Sterling Shepard again. I mean, I could probably just bring him back to relive old memories. I suppose I got all this extra. I got a little extra scratch here. Have him come in and compete for that wide receiver 3 spot. He's gone off, coming back. But I got Wyatt Teller on the offensive line, 91. Why not? We'll offer him stupid money. I got Trey Sermon just to be RB2. Fox because he's a superstar dev punter. Maybe that'll help something in sim. I don't know. And then we got Sterling Shepard. So it's not the craziest free agent period that I was hoping for, but could be enough to move the needle. Put us in that edge. Can we beat the Cowboys again, maybe? Hey, we got our targets. Sermon, Teller, Shepard. No punter yet, but whatever. I'll just make our first pick here. He's the only guy that looks... Again, it's just that third wide receiver spot. Can we get an X factor? Can we get a game changer? Mid-first round, he's fast. Probably as good as it's gonna get. And it's actually not bad. 75, like I would say the least hyped of all the wide receivers we've drafted in this rebuild, and he comes in with the dev trade. 75. Hidden dev, 14 in true value, get him at 29. Jermaine Shepard, 96 speed, 95 acceleration, 84 catching. God damn. We just followed up with another hidden dev wide receiver. Richard Dick Bryan here. Dick Bryan, 74 hidden dev, 6'5", 220. 93 speed, 90. Okay, this guy's absurd. Dick Bryan, let's go. Overdraft for a team that just, I mean, we did throw a little bit of money at Sterling Shepard there, but 2 hidden devs. Jermaine Shepard, we got Sterling's younger brother, and we got Dick Bryan. We followed up, we got another 72 hidden devs. Like, we finished this rebuild with just an unnecessarily good draft that doesn't really gonna matter a whole lot. But, yeah, I will say this. You know what we should do? Here's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna break the rules here a little because we have 2 hidden dev wide receivers. One of these guys is like a superstar. I just want to know right now because I'm gonna give them the reps over Sterling Shepard. Wow. Okay. Well, this Shepard's a superstar. What about Richard Bryan? I know it's not cheating a little. It's I want to just, you know, what's the point of having this guy ride the bench if he has a chance to be our breakout player? So what we're gonna do, knowing that we just kind of cheat here, Shepard is going to play. We're going to make sure he's finding himself on the field. We'll play him over Sterling, and we're going to go with the younger guy because he's got the superstar and hit the ground running. Superstar wide receiver with 96 speed. That's how we finish this rebuild. So here's our final squad. And so we got Shepard. That's really the biggest change, at least on the offensive side of the ball, in terms of incoming. You know what? I got to reap the rewards of drafting a superstar versus waiting to the end of the year. And then it's like, oh man, we should have used him more. I'm reaping the reward. I moved Teller to right tackle as well, just to maximize the offensive line. That's an outstanding offensive line. Defensively, well, we have the defensive player of the year here, reigning, defending, 99 overall, Brian Burns. No dev trait, which is unfortunate because I would love at least one X factor on this defense. But that is a stellar defense. Not a lot of, you know, everyone has a dev trait, which is pretty good. So I'm firmly expecting at least, you know, punter take it to the playoffs, and who knows what kind of a run we can go on as long as we make it there. I just send to mid-season. Just woke up, man. Don't need this. Second best team in Madden, and we're 1-6 at the midway point of Thank you guys for watching. Sometimes this happens, I suppose. It's the Giants. There had to be a team that I crashed and burned epically and failed epically. At least it's an NFC East team, but it's just what? Why? Where's the rhyme or reason to this? You know, not only say we're second best, we're tied for the best team. That's the whole point of a rebuild. I made this team the best team in the league. 1-6. No injuries. Let me know in the comment section below what team you want to see me rebuild next. But I do think maybe there'll be another rebuild or two. But the realistic rebuilds are coming. We're going to present those a little bit differently. I'm going to put my own spin on them, as always. I'm actually I'll say this. I'm genuinely excited to get that draft class going. Because it's just going to be the fact that I can rebuild now with players that we are seeing in college. You know, we're going to be able to get the Malik Willises. We're going to be able to get the Kayvon Thibodeaux. We're going to be able to get the Bryce Youngs. We're going to be able to get the Anthony Richardsons. That's going to be very fun for me. I can't wait for that. But I still need, I'll tell you right now, haven't even started the 2024 draft class. I have my Excel sheet all done. All 450 players. Got all their info. I just got to put them in a Madden draft class. And probably try to upload it to you guys and have it say there's a profanity filter that triggers. This game fucking sucks. But thank you still for watching the content. I very much appreciate it. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.